Hello and welcome back to the Poppy Palmer blog. This is video number 3 and today I'm going to be making some caramel slice. It's really easy. I'm doing a gluten-free version, but you only have to swap one ingredient to make it non-gluten-free, but to be honest you don't really taste the difference. Okay, so to begin with, in this bowl I've got 150 grams of gluten-free plain flour. I've also got 90 grams of soft brown sugar and I've got 40 grams of coconut. And in this one over here I've got unsalted butter, just 125 grams, which I've melted, and I'm going to add these two together to make the base. So just stir it around until it's all combined. Should make like a really thick paste. Okay, now I'm going to put it into the base, which I've lined with non-stick paper. And I'm just going to use my hands to push in all the corners. It is quite a thin base. I don't really like a lot of biscuit, so it will fit. Okay, so when it's nice and flat, I'm going to pop it in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes, depending on your oven. But I've put it on at 180 degrees. And I'll put it in now. Okay, so now I'm going to make the filling, which is like a homemade caramel. So in this saucepan, which I'm going to put on the stove in a second, I've got 125 grams of unsalted butter, 115 grams of golden syrup, which makes it really nice and creamy. And I'm also using 2 cans of this Nestle Carnation condensed milk, which I find is really good. So I'm going to put it on the stove for about 8 minutes and continue stirring it. You don't want it to get it stuck to the bottom, because then you'll get like these little burnt bits in it and it won't be as nice. Okay. So just continue to stir it for about 8 minutes and the butter will melt and it will go a bit thinner. But you want to keep stirring it until it thickens again. So all the butter's melted and it's quite thin, you can see, but I'm going to continue to stir it until it completely coats the spatula. Okay, so I've been stirring it for about 8 minutes now and it's slightly darkened in colour and thickened, so I'm going to take it off the heat and pour it over the cooked base. Okay, so here I've got my cooked base and I'm going to add the caramel filling on top. That's really heavy. Smells really nice. Now I've lowered the oven to 150 degrees and that's going to go in and bake for about 20 minutes. Okay, I've just taken this slice out of the oven. It was in there for about 20 minutes. Now I'm going to let it cool on the side for about 40 minutes and then I'm going to put it in the fridge and later I'll show you how to do the chocolate topping. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do the chocolate topping. So when your base is really nice and cooled, you need to have 200 grams of dark chocolate. I like using dark because it offsets the sweetness of the caramel. And this brand's really nice as well, it's called Millionaire. So you need to break it up into small chunks. Make sure there's no foil in there. And what I'm also going to do is add a tablespoon of oil. I'm using groundnut oil because I think it's the best because it has no flavour, but you can use any vegetable oil really. And it just kind of breaks up the chocolate a bit and gives it a really nice shine. So what I'm going to do now is put it on the double boiler. Okay, so here I have my double boiler, which means there's a saucepan with about 1 inch of water in it, and I'm going to place this glass bowl on top, and it's going to use the heat from the steam. Now you don't want the water touching the bowl, and what it's going to do is melt the chocolate really gently. And just continue stirring until it's fully melted. Okay, so the chocolate's nearly melted, and I'm just going to take it off just as the last bits disappear. Okay, so my chocolate is lovely and melted, as you can see. And what I'm going to do is pour it onto the base. Try and get every last bit. Now, instead of using the spatula to spread it, I'm going to use the tin, and I'm going to tip it into each corner so the chocolate covers the whole top. That's really nice and shiny, that's from the oil. And to get it flat, I'm just going to drop it twice. Okay, so after you've done that, it should be really nice and flat and glossy from the oil. And I'm going to pop it in the fridge for about an hour, and it's going to set. And I'm going to show you how to cut it out. Okay, so the slice has been in the fridge for about 2 hours, and it's completely set. It's nice and shiny, smooth. So I'm going to take it out of the tin. And peel back the paper. It's really sticky. I'm just going to cut a small section. Now I've heated my knife up under hot water, and then I've dried it because you don't want to add water onto the top. I'm just going to cut that down nice and straight. And it should be nice and layered, like that. And you can see the biscuit base, and then the caramel base, and then the chocolate topping. And together it makes a caramel slice. That's really nice.